Right friends, first capsule, this is vote for French liberalism. Here Emmanuel Macron became the youngest president of France at the age of 39 years and it assumed a lot of significance for the world as a whole and in particular to the European Union. So under these circumstances, this assumed a lot of significance, and if you look at France, it has got coastline towards Atlantic and Mediterranean Sea, and French election first round was held last month as no one could get 50% of the vote in the first round. Then second round was held. The top two contestants, that is Emmanuel Macron as well as Marine Le Pen, these two reached the second round, and second round was held on 7th May and Emmanuel Macron elected with around 66% of the vote and Marine Le Pen got 34%. So this is all about French elections, but this assumed a lot of significance because this far right tendencies are brewing across the world. What is far right tendency? Far right tendency means anti-immigration, nativism, nationalism. So all these are termed as far right policies. In fact, Marine Le Pen is a far right candidate, and as the winds of nativism, nationalism are brewing across the developed countries, this election assumed a lot of significance. And here you should not forget certain words. Hate crime. Recently several hate crimes are taking place in United States of America, but the country is denying. That is different story. So whether the country accepts hate crimes or not, but one fundamental point you should not forget, nowadays more and more countries are coming up with anti-immigration policies. USA, New Zealand, Australia, Singapore, one country after the other is going for anti-immigration policies, and some people perceived that there are difficult times ahead for globalization. Under these circumstances, French elections took place. And you should not forget xenophobia. This is a fear or hatred of strangers or foreigners. This xenophobia is also sweeping across several areas in the world, especially developed countries. And post-truth, this is another phenomena across the developed countries. Post-truth means decisions based on emotions and personal belief. Here objective facts are not important. What is important is emotions and personal belief. This assumed significance in the days of social media, present day social media. So post-truth is partially responsible for the victory of Donald Trump as well as Brexit. So these things don't forget. Why I am reiterating these words is French election assumed a lot of significance in view of these tendencies sweeping across the world. Then you should not forget what is immigrant. If these people are going to America from our country, then they are immigrants for India, immigrants for USA. So I have taken this pictorial representation only to explain you about immigrants and immigrants. Then nationalism. What is nationalism? Nationalism is loyalty and devotion to the nation state. There is nothing wrong, but here some countries are going for extreme nationalism, and nationalism also means surpassing other individual or group interests. It is the sense of national consciousness. And if you look at nativism, nativism is the political idea that people who were born in a country are more important than immigrants. So why I have taken all these words one by one is nowadays you are coming across several words like post-truth, nationalism, nativism, far right. So you should have clear idea about these words, right? So under these circumstances, French elections second round were held and 66% of the votes, and out of 107 regions, Marine Le Pen could win only in 2 regions, but 105 regions have gone decisively for Emmanuel Macron, right? So, if you look at it, another significant event is there are two mainline political parties. There are two mainstream political parties in France. One is Republican Party, other one is a Socialist Party. But this time in the first round, both the parties were eliminated. Both the Socialist Party as well as Republican Party were eliminated. The outgoing president, Francois Hollande, belongs to Socialist Party, who won last time with 52% vote share, and now both the parties have been eliminated in the first round itself. And second important point is Marine Le Pen got 34%, but for this National Front, which is considered as far right party, there is significant improvement. Her father got 18% votes in 2002 elections, and now she got almost double the vote share, 34%. So, this is giving signal that far right forces are not dead. Anytime they may take the place if the existing establishment fails, right? Now, promises made by Emmanuel Macron, I have given here. What are the promises made by Emmanuel Macron? Please go through it. And France elections, decisive verdict. This Emmanuel Macron started a movement in March 1 year ago. Marine Le Pen, National Front or Front National, and I have given all the details. Please go through this. And Macron 105 administrative regions, Marine Le Pen 1-2, and you see 90% of voters voted for Emmanuel Macron in Paris. So, here also, though Marine Le Pen lost, but there is a wide gap in the perceptions of elite people and rural and small town hinterland, right? So, if you look at further, what are the present day problems in France? There is a widespread discontent among the voters. Youth are not happy with the mainstream political elite. Joblessness is very high, and insecurity among the citizens after multiple terror attacks. And if you look at the rise of France's youngest president, he started his career as a civil servant. Subsequently, he became investment banker, and subsequently he became minister in Francois Hollande presidency, and subsequently he left the government and founded the new movement in March, almost 1 year ago, and his party claims neither left nor right, and he favors liberal economic reforms, including cutting public expenditure and amending the country's labor code, and the signal it gives to the world as a whole. This is very, very important PPT. French elections, what is the signal it gives? The election is the check on the forces of economic protectionism, xenophobia and Islamophobia. This is a check on all these type of forces. You can say it is only pause, because far rightist Marine Le Pen got 34% of the votes, and if the performance of Emmanuel Macron is not satisfactory, and it will not take much time for far right forces to take the center stage, then people thought that France elections will be a continuation of various events like Brexit as well as victory of Donald Trump, but this is the pause for far right forces here. So, nativism, nationalism, far right, anti-immigration are defeated for the time being, but we cannot say what will happen in future. All depends on the policies to be pursued by Emmanuel Macron and how many jobs he will create and how the economy will grow in future. All depends on Emmanuel Macron's ability to steer the country. Then it is renewed support for lower trade, investment and immigration barriers. It is the vote which confirms that there is no immediate threat to European Union. So, it is a saving grace for European Union. Already UK is leaving European Union. If Marine Le Pen wins, probably France may also be taking that route. but luckily Emmanuel Macron won. So there is no immediate threat to European Union, and it may influence the elections in Germany. Germany elections are going to be held in the later part of the year. So this is the significance for the world as a whole, and you can say it is some sort of victory for globalization, right? So overall, it is the pause for far-rightists, protectionists, anti-immigration policies, nativists, nationalists, where the winds are prevailing across the world in several advanced countries. You cannot say it is the defeat for protectionist or anti-immigration, or you can say that it is pause for these forces, right? And now what lies ahead? Going ahead, there are several challenges for Emmanuel Macron, satisfying the aspirations of small town rural hinterland people. Automation may further widen the gap between haves and have-nots. That is going to be the biggest challenge. GDP is struggling to grow, and failure of Emmanuel Macron could mean that anti-globalization forces both on the extreme right and left may emerge with renewed vigor. So therefore, a lot of responsibility is on the shoulders of Emmanuel Macron, right? So the world leadership should lead to reshape globalization in a more acceptable and inclusive way with regulatory checks and balances, and it is to be seen whether France will show the way for more acceptable globalization in view of anti-immigration, in view of extreme nationalism, in view of hate crimes, in view of Islamophobia, in view of nativism. So under these circumstances, it is to be seen whether France will show the way for acceptable globalization. Right friends, this concludes first capsule. Have a nice day. Thank you.